So Misfits X Series 20 is finally here. It is time to break down this card. But rather than break down this entire card, because I don't know 90% of the people on this card, we're just going to break down the two fights you are all excited for the most. We're going to talk about this co-main event between Wade and the Masai Warrior. And of course, the main event, Darren Till, Anthony Taylor. So let's kick things off with this co-main event, probably the people's main event, the fight that you guys are probably the most excited for. Wade Clements taking on the Masai Warrior. Both guys making their professional boxing debut. And this is probably the hardest fight to break down on this card because we haven't seen either of these guys in the ring. So I don't normally like to make predictions without seeing guys having fought before, so I can actually see what they look like in the ring. But for this fight, to be honest, I think Wade's previous experience and his fight IQ is really what's going to set him apart in this matchup. I think the Masai Warriors diving in on the deep end in this fight. The only thing I really seen from the Masai Warriors is open workout when he was supposed to take on that HS Tiki-Taki guy. By the way, still worst nickname of all time. But in his open workout, he did look hella stiff. He looked hella nervous. His feet, he was kind of fumbling over himself. I think Wade is a lot more fluid. I think Wade is going to come in a lot more loose, a lot more defensively tactical as well. Like I said, we haven't seen much from the Masai Warrior, so who knows, but his punches are going to be straight and they are going to be technical at first, but eventually I think that fight or flight is going to kick in. He's going to start windmilling the hell out of his punches, and that's where I think Wade can capitalize and counter, hit him when he's not expecting it, probably hit him while he's swinging a punch, and possibly knock him out that way. So I'm going to go with Wade on this one, either by knockout or by decision. And in the main event, former UFC title challenger Darren Till takes on one of the biggest showmen in Misfits boxing in Anthony Taylor. And this fight is also very, very hard to predict because who knows how Anthony Taylor's going to come out. In his last two fights, he's come out and looked great, fantastic. But up until that point, he was a very one-dimensional beatable fighter whose game plan was really implemented around clinching and trying to dirty box and scoring that way, which is just not a very fan-friendly style. But in his last couple fights, he's looked fantastic. He's completely flipped the 180 and he's looked very good. And with Darren Till, it's hard to tell. In his professional debut, which was his last fight, he did look like the type of fighter that would be extremely hard to beat in this scene. But the problem with his style is that you could tell he's a very offensively minded fighter. I just see a lot of holes in his defense and I see him leaving a lot of openings for counters. The one thing I will say though is it will be very interesting to see how both of these guys' cardios hold up. Darren wasn't really able to get that much in-ring experience with his last matchup, and as we know, Anthony Taylor has had cardio issues in past fights, so I really think this fight is going to come down to who gasses out first. But as of late, I just think Anthony Taylor has looked really good, and I think Anthony Taylor just finds a way to win. If he starts getting picked apart on the outside and him trying to make a fan-friendly fight isn't going well for him, I think he will change it up and go back to his style and start scoring points and winning rounds that way. Plus, AT is probably the most experienced boxer in Misfits. So overall, I think Anthony Taylor is going to somehow find a way to win. But that's all I got for y'all today. Feel free to let me know your predictions and your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, I thank you all so much for the support, and I'll catch you in the next video.